My parents opened my mail and planned a cruise with my bonus without asking me Reddit stories. One dinner exposed how casually my privacy and money had been treated as shared property. The moment I pushed back, the entire family dynamic started to fracture. Hi, I'm Simon, 38, boxing coach, part-time human punching bag for other people's problems, and apparently the unpaid financial engine of my entire family. The night everything shifted began with chicken so dry it could have filed for desert status. We were at my parents' place, Thursday dinner, the weekly ritual where I absorbed stress like a kitchen sponge, when my dad lifted his glass like he was about to announce a royal engagement. Instead, he announced my money. Good news, he said, beaming. We're using your bonus for the family cruise. Not. Would you like to join us? Not. Can you contribute? Just a declaration from the throne. I blinked twice. My what? Mom laughed. Your year-end bonus, honey. I work as a boxing coach. We do not get year-end bonuses. You get a free protein shake if the manager's in a good mood. I said exactly that. Jenna, my sister, snorted. Not your gym job. Your other thing. My other thing was a contract I signed with a regional athletic program. It had performance incentives and retention bonuses. Good money, but nobody was supposed to know the amount unless I told them. Spoiler, I didn't. So I asked the question. How did you know about that? Mom answered cheerfully, like she was sharing a recipe. Oh, we read your mail. Not. We saw an envelope and wondered. Not. We thought it was ours. Just we. Read. Your. Mail. With a smile. Dad nodded proudly. The deposit's due tomorrow. 8,000. And don't worry, Jenna added. You're not paying the whole thing. We'll cover excursions. Mom's getting insurance. I sat there, hands under the table, flat against my thighs because I could feel my pulse beating through every finger. The part that bothered me wasn't the cruise. It was the certainty. Like my life was communal property. Like my money was a public utility. Like my boundaries were decorative. I stood up. Calm. Too calm. 1 second. I said. I walked to the hallway, pulled out my phone, and called HR, the number I'd saved and never used. Hi, this is Simon Carter. I said. I need all payroll and benefit documents sent to my new address. Effective immediately. And I need to update direct deposit. Behind me, through the thin wall, I heard my mom laugh. Oh my God, he's being dramatic. They had no idea. I already had a new address. My life split cleanly in that moment. Before, the reliable one. After, the man who finally put locks on the doors. When I walked back into the dining room, they were still smiling at me. They had no idea that cruise, and the version of me that paid for it, was already gone. When I sat back down at the table, everyone was still wearing the same cheerful, entitled expressions, as if my quick exit had been a bathroom break, not a financial emancipation. Dad cleared his throat. All right, where were we? Oh, right, the cruise. Marcy, the travel agent, said we can lock in balcony cabins if we put the deposit down tomorrow morning. Jenna leaned in, excited. And I already picked the excursions. Ziplining, snorkeling, horseback riding. You'll love it! Since you're paying the big chunk, you should get first pick. She said it like she was doing me a favor. I smiled. It was a small smile, the kind that makes people uneasy because they can't tell if you're amused or furious. Just so we're all clear, I said. You planned an $8,000 deposit using money that isn't yours, based on mail you weren't supposed to open. Mom waved her hand. Oh, honey. Don't make this ugly. It's a family trip. We'll all benefit. Dad nodded. And your bonus is coming in the mail any day now. You'll barely feel it. I won't, I said. Because it's not going to your address anymore. The table went still. Mom blinked. What does that mean? It means, I said, keeping my tone painfully level. I updated payroll just now. New address. New direct deposit. Nothing goes to your house ever again. Silence. Then Jenna scoffed. You didn't. I did. Mom's smile faltered. Simon, you don't have to be like this. It's just mail. We only opened it because we thought it was important. No, I said. You opened it because you assumed my finances are your business. Dad leaned forward, voice sharp. We were trying to help you. That's interesting, I said. Because every time you've opened my mail, it benefited you. Mom's jaw tightened. If you didn't want us involved, you should have said something. I actually laughed at that. Mom, you didn't ask. You just took. Jenna rolled her eyes. This is so dramatic. You're acting like we robbed you. Did you not attempt to spend $8,000 of my money today? I asked. That's not the same thing. Dad snapped. Really? I said. Explain the difference. And here's where things got surreal. Dad actually tried. You weren't going to spend it anyway, he said. You don't vacation. You don't buy nice things. You don't have a family to support. We thought it would be good for you to do something generous. There it was. The truth behind the entitlement. They didn't see me as a person. They saw me as a resource. Mom sighed dramatically, the kind of sigh meant to shift blame. We raised you better than this. I nodded. You did, I said. Which is why I'm backing out before things get worse. Dad frowned. Backing out of what? The role, I said. The one where I fix everything, pay for everything, and keep quiet when you cross boundaries. I stood up. Consider the position officially vacant. Mom's voice turned cold. Simon. Sit down. Don't do something you'll regret. I won't regret this, I said. Not even a little. My phone buzzed. An email confirmation from HR. Address update complete. Direct deposit reassigned. Effective immediately. Perfect timing. I held up the screen. Oh, I added. And the bonus? Already rerouted. You won't be receiving it. Jenna's mouth fell open. You're screwing us over? No, I said. I'm stopping you from screwing me over. Dad slammed his hands on the table. You can't just cut us out. I opened the front door. I didn't, I said. You did. When you opened mail that didn't belong to you. Then I left, while the three of them sat at the table, anger and confusion rippling through the room like someone had kicked a beehive. The cruise ended right there. But the fallout? That was coming next. And it was spectacular. They tried to book the cruise anyway. Of course they did. Because in their minds, my objection was a tantrum, not a boundary. Something to be waited out, like a child refusing broccoli. I found out the next morning. I was in my car outside the gym, engine off, protein shake half mixed, when my phone buzzed with a text from my sister's husband, Kyle. Kyle. They're at the travel agency. It's, not going well. I snorted. Not going well, in Kyle speak meant. Your family is melting down in a public space. 10 seconds later, a second text. Kyle. Your dad is arguing with the travel agent about family rights. Your mom is crying. Jenna is saying you're selfish. I'm pretending to tie my shoe. I almost felt bad for him. Almost. Then the call came. Dad. I let it go to voicemail. Then Jenna called. Ignored. Then Mom. Ignored. Only when Kyle texted again did I answer. Kyle. They told the agent you'd pay later. She said she can't process without your authorization. They're pissed. I'd run. I laughed. Loud enough that it scared a jogger walking past my car. 5 minutes later, my phone rang again, this time a number I didn't recognize. I answered. Hi, this is Marcy from Coral Seas Travel. I'm calling to confirm. I cut her off gently. You can cancel the booking. I won't be authorizing anything. A pause. Then, oh thank God. I blinked. What? She lowered her voice like she was confessing a crime. They have been here for an hour. I've been offering them brochures just to keep the peace. Please never make me do that again. No problem, I said. She exhaled in relief. And just to clarify, she added, I will not discuss your finances or bonus with them. I've already declined twice. A stranger had displayed more respect for my privacy in one morning than my family had in 10 years. I thanked her and hung up. Then I drove to the travel agency, not to pay anything, but because when you end a pattern of exploitation, it's best to do it face to face so there's no room for revisionist history later. When I walked in, I saw it instantly. Mom dabbing her eyes with a tissue like she was auditioning for a sympathy award. Dad standing stiff, arms crossed, jaw set like he was confronting a union rep. Jenna pacing, phone in hand, dramatically whisper yelling. He screwed us, Kyle. He screwed us. The moment they saw me, the emotional choreography snapped into place. Mom gasped. Simon. Dad barked. Sit down. We need to talk. Jenna pointed at me like she'd spotted a criminal on a wanted poster. You're paying the deposit, she said. We drove here. We planned this. UOWE. No, I said. I don't. And that, right there, was the moment the dynamic shattered. Because I didn't whisper. Didn't soften. Didn't apologize. I just said it like a fact. No. Dad's face reddened. We're a family, Simon. Then start acting like one, I said. Jenna scoffed. Oh my God, you're unbelievable. Mom took a deep, shaky breath. Sweetheart, don't do this. I looked at her. Mom. You opened my mail. Her eyes flickered, guilt, defiance, annoyance, like she was flipping through emotions to see which one worked best. Dad leaned forward. You're overreacting. I looked at Marcy, the agent. Did they tell you the money was theirs? She nodded. Slowly. Carefully. Like she was answering a judge. Jenna jumped in. We're not stealing. We're reorganizing. I laughed. Reorganizing my bank account? Dad slammed his hand on the desk. You always help. Exactly, I said. Always. And you've mistaken consistency for obligation. That ends today. Mom's voice went cold. So what now? No cruise? No support? No family? For once, I said, you're starting to understand. Jenna rolled her eyes. You're so dramatic. No, I said. I'm precise. And then I dropped the sentence that shifted the entire power structure of our family. I already moved. None of my mail or money goes to your house anymore. You don't have access to me or my finances. Mom's jaw fell open. You what? Dad stared like I'd revealed a criminal double life. You moved? Without telling us? Correct, I said. Because telling you would have meant giving you access again. Jenna sputtered. This is insane. No, I repeated, calm as a monk. It's a boundary. Marcy cleared her throat gently. So, should I cancel the booking? All three of them whipped toward me. I nodded. Yes. Cancel it. And she did, clicking a single button. That click was the loudest sound in the room. The sound of a dynamic ending. The sound of a safety net being pulled away. The moment my family realized they'd lost access to the one thing they valued most. My obedience. If you've never witnessed a family lose financial control of their favorite son, let me paint the scene. It looks a little like grief. Sounds a little like outrage. And smells exactly like denial. The moment Marcy clicked cancel booking, the temperature in the travel agency dropped 10 degrees. Dad's voice was the first to break the silence. A low, tight growl. Simon, this isn't you. But it was me. It was the first time in my adult life that it was actually me instead of the softened, obedient version they were used to. No, I said. This is exactly me. You were just used to the version who didn't have boundaries. Mom's lips pinched into a thin line. The kind she usually reserved for when Jenna's kids touched anything breakable in her house. "You're acting like a stranger," she whispered. "Then maybe," I said, "you should get to know me." Jenna scoffed loudly. "Oh, please. This is because you moved. You're having some lone wolf identity crisis in that sad little apartment." I almost laughed. Jenna, who lived in a 4-bedroom house she hadn't paid for in 7 years, calling my place sad was almost poetic. "What's sad," I said, "is the way you all assume my income is community property." Dad jabbed a finger at me. "We made you who you are." I met his eyes. "No, Dad. You made me responsible. And then you exploited it." His mouth opened. Closed. Opened again. He looked like he'd been slapped with a truth he didn't know existed. Mom jumped in, voice sharp now, forgetting the soft act entirely. "You're throwing your family away over a vacation." "A vacation?" "No," I said. "I'm ending years of you treating me like an ATM with emotional guilt frosting." Jenna swung toward Mom, dramatic as a stage actress. "See? This is why I said he's unstable. He's changing everything." The irony of calling boundaries unstable was almost funny. Then Mom tried her favorite weapon. The wounded tone. "Simon, if you don't help us, we can't go." I nodded. "Correct. You're really okay with ruining this trip?" "I'm okay with you not spending money that doesn't belong to you." Mom's chin trembled, not with sadness, with offense. She wasn't used to me naming things accurately. Dad stepped forward, voice rising. "We count on you." "And I told you," I said. "Counting on me was the mistake." His face reddened. "You're abandoning us." "I'm stepping back," I corrected. "There's a difference. Abandonment implies I owe you something. I don't." Jenna muttered under her breath. "Selfish." I turned to her slowly. "Let's talk about selfish," I said. "You've borrowed from me 7 times this year. Your last repayment was 3 years ago. You've never once offered interest. But I'm selfish for not funding your vacation?" Her eyes widened like I'd punched her. "You keep track?" she snapped. "Yes," I said. "That's what adults do." Mom gasped like I'd said something obscene. "Money between families shouldn't be calculated." "Oh, it should," I said. "Especially when only one person is doing the paying." Dad shook his head, disgusted. "You're unbelievable." Marcy awkwardly raised a hand. "I can print the cancellation receipt? If that helps?" All 3 of them glared at her. I smiled. "Yes, please." She printed it. I folded it neatly and put it in my pocket. Then Jenna tried the nuclear option. "Fine. If you won't pay for the trip, at least give us your bonus when it arrives." I looked at her like she'd grown antlers. "What bonus?" "The $45,000, she snapped. I shook my head. "That money is already allocated." Mom stiffened. "To what?" "My life," I said. "Crazy concept, I know." Dad stepped toward me again. "You can't just cut us out." "I didn't cut you out," I said. "You cut yourselves out the moment you opened mail that wasn't yours." Then Mom whispered the sentence that told me she still didn't understand a thing. "But we're family." I nodded once. "And I'm an adult with boundaries. Those 2 things can coexist. Or not. Your choice." Her eyes filled with tears, the performative kind, not the real stuff. "You're really doing this?" "I already did it," I said. Then I walked out of the agency while they sat in stunned silence, the cruise brochure still open on the table in front of them like a gravestone. Behind me, I heard Dad's voice crack. "What are we supposed to do now?" And for the first time in my life, I didn't feel responsible for the answer. For the next 48 hours, my phone behaved like a dying firework. Silent for long stretches, then suddenly exploding with family drama at unpredictable intervals. It started with voicemails. Dad's first one was pure fury. Simon, you come fix this right now. This isn't how family works. His second voicemail, 4 hours later, was guilt. Your mother hasn't stopped crying. I hope you're happy. By voicemail number 3, he'd evolved into martyrdom. Well, I guess we just won't take a family vacation this year. Shame. Your mother was looking forward to it. Mom stuck to text messages. Long ones. The kind where paragraphs are broken up for dramatic pauses. Simon, I don't even recognize you anymore. You used to care about us. You used to show up. I don't know what happened to my sweet boy. We were so proud of you. Translation. You stopped letting us manage your life like a joint bank account. Jenna chose Facebook. Of course she did. Her post said, some people only care about money. Family means nothing to them. Pray for us in this difficult time. The comments? A circus of middle-aged women with wine-glass profile pictures. So sorry, sweetie. You deserve better. Money changes people. Meanwhile, Kyle texted, look, man. I'm not getting involved. But she's spiraling. Just FYI. Kyle always knew Jenna was a cyclone in human form. He just didn't have the courage to say it out loud. But the message that hit my phone on day 3 was the one that made me stop mid-rep while I was re-racking weights at the gym. It was from my Aunt Denise. The honest one. The family truth bomb specialist. Her message said, did your parents seriously open your mail? Call me. I stepped into the stairwell and dialed. She answered on the first ring. Baby, she said, I don't blame you at all. That's a violation. I exhaled. You heard? I got the whole story from your mother. Well, her version. I figured I'd call you to get the real one. I told her. Not with emotion. Just the facts. The bonus. The mail. The cruise. The entitlement dressed up as family bonding. She let out a long, low whistle. Your parents are losing their grip because you were their financial cushion. They aren't mad you stopped paying. They're mad you proved you didn't have to. That sentence hit me like a body shot I didn't see coming. You think that's it? Oh, baby, she said. It's always that. You changed the system they depended on. I leaned my back against the concrete wall. I didn't think it would be this explosive. Of course it is, she said. You've been the family's golden goose for years. And now you've waddled off. I actually laughed. Then she said something that cut deeper, but in a good way. You should have protected yourself a long time ago. I'm proud of you. I swallowed hard. Thank you. One more thing, she said. Don't cave. They're going to try everything: guilt, shame, nostalgia, theatrics. Your sister might even fake a crisis. Don't fall for it. I nodded, though she couldn't see it. They already tried guilt. Oh, honey, she said. That's only level 1. Just wait. She wasn't wrong. That evening at 6:02 p.m., Mom played her next card. A picture message. It was her sitting on the couch, tissues around her, mascara smudged. The caption. This is what you're doing to us. I stared at it for a solid 10 seconds. Then I typed, I'm sorry you're upset. My boundaries are still the same. She left me on read. 2 hours later, Jenna sent, fine. If you won't pay for the cruise, at least tell us when your bonus hits so we can plan something smaller. I stared at my screen. She said it like my income was still our shared resource, like I'd temporarily unplugged the hose but could turn it back on at their convenience. I typed, you're not entitled to my bonus. Or my mail. Or my money. She replied instantly. You're unbelievable. I put my phone face down. For the first time in my life, letting it buzz didn't feel like failure. It felt like freedom. But the real twist? The next day, something happened that proved Aunt Denise was a prophet. And it wasn't pretty. It started with a noise in the hallway outside my new apartment. At first, I thought it was just someone dragging luggage or a stroller. Then came a knock, 3 sharp raps, evenly spaced. The kind of knock my mother used when she wanted to seem polite but was actually furious. I froze. I hadn't given them my address. Not my parents. Not Jenna. Not anyone except HR, my bank, my landlord, and Aunt Denise. I cracked the peephole. It wasn't my mother. It was Kyle. Holding a diaper bag, sweating through his polo, shifting from foot to foot like the building was on fire. I opened the door 2 inches. Kyle? He exhaled like he'd been underwater. Dude! Thank God. Jenna's losing her mind. Clearly, I said. Why are you here? He held up both hands. I didn't tell her. I swear to God. She made me drive around the area based on your gym address until she recognized your car. I blinked. Jenna had been hunting me. Kyle continued. She's parked down the street. She's crying. She thinks you should talk to her. No, I said immediately. I know, he said. Trust me, I know. But she's not listening to me. Not my problem, I said. He ran a hand through his hair. She said she's going to come up here if you don't come down. No, I said again. I don't reward tantrums. He flinched like I'd found the exact word he'd been avoiding. Look, he said quietly. I'm not here to take sides. But she thinks the family is falling apart. It's not falling apart, I said. It's just no longer funded. He let out a short, desperate laugh. Man, you really said that. I meant it. Kyle shifted his weight. Please. 10 minutes. Just talk to her. No, I repeated. He looked over his shoulder toward the stairs. Too late. He muttered. Footsteps. Fast ones. And then Jenna appeared, red-faced, breathing hard, hair wild like she'd run a mile, fueled purely by indignation. There you are, she snapped. I didn't open the door any wider. Jenna, I said calmly. You moved? She demanded. You moved and didn't tell us? Her voice echoed in the hallway. A door upstairs opened. Someone peeked out. Lower your voice, Kyle whispered. She ignored him. You abandoned your family, she said. Over nothing. I inhaled slowly. It wasn't nothing. You're punishing us, she accused. No, I said. I'm protecting myself. She scoffed so dramatically I'm shocked she didn't sprain her neck. From what? She yelled. From being used, I said simply. That stopped her for half a second. Then she stepped closer. You're selfish, she hissed. You're always so high and mighty. Acting like your money makes you better. I tilted my head. You literally called me because you wanted my money. That's different, she snapped. How? I asked. She opened and closed her mouth. Kyle rubbed his forehead. Jenna, please. She spun on him. Don't you dare take his side. He shut up instantly. And that's when I realized. Kyle didn't come to support her. He came because he can't control her and hoped I could. Not happening. Jenna, I said, keeping my voice steady. You crossed a line when you opened my mail. And another when you planned my money. And another when you tried to make me the bad guy for saying no. It was one piece of mail, she shouted. It was the last piece. I corrected. You ruined our trip, she yelled louder. No, I said softly. I just stopped paying for it. Her eyes went cold. You're dead to the family. There it was. The nuclear option. I nodded. Okay, I said. She blinked. What? If that's what you want. I repeated. Okay. She wasn't expecting agreement. She was expecting tears, guilt, bargaining. She expected me to fold the way I always did. Instead, I closed the door halfway. Kyle didn't move. Jenna sputtered. You can't just decide that. I didn't decide, I said. You did. Her face contorted, somewhere between rage and disbelief. You'll regret this, she said. When Dad gets sick. When Mom needs help. When we have emergencies. I will help, I said. For real emergencies. Not vacations. Not excuses. And not through you. She went silent. Kyle whispered, "Let's just go." Jenna jabbed a finger at me. "We will not forget this. I'm counting on that," I said, and gently closed the door. I leaned my forehead against the wood. My hands were steady. My breathing calm. On the other side, their footsteps echoed down the hall. Kyle's voice low. Jenna's sharp. Then nothing. I slid the deadbolt. My phone buzzed. A text from Aunt Denise. "Did they find you?" I typed back. "Yeah." "What happened?" I replied. "I finally stopped being the oldest child and started being an adult." She sent one sentence that made my chest loosen. "Proud of you, kid." The next wave didn't come from Jenna. It came from my mother. Sunday morning, 9:12 a.m. I was meal prepping chicken and rice like a man who'd finally discovered peace. My phone buzzed. "Mom, we need to talk. Urgently." I ignored it. Buzz. "Mom, this is not how family behaves." Ignored. Buzz. "Mom, your father is extremely upset." I put the phone face down. 10 seconds later. Buzz. "Mom, we came by your apartment building but the buzzer didn't work. We saw your car. Please open the door." I froze. I hadn't given them my address. Jenna already proved she could find it. Now my parents too? No. Not today. Then, bang bang bang. On my front door. Not a polite knock. A parental knock. A "you will open this door" knock. I didn't move. "Simon!" my dad shouted through the wood. "We're not leaving until you open up." In the movies, this is where the music gets ominous. In real life, it's just embarrassing. For everyone. I walked to the door but didn't unlock it. "Go home," I said. Mom's voice pitched up in that manipulative sweetness she uses when she wants something. "Honey, please. We just want to talk." "That's what phones are for," I said. Dad tried a different tactic. "You're being ridiculous." There it was. The classic reset button. Invalidate. Dismiss. Control. "No," I said. "I'm being clear." Mom huffed. "We didn't do anything wrong." "You opened my mail," I reminded her. "That was one time." "Multiple times," I corrected. "I know because USPS tracks deliveries." Silence. Then Dad went full volume. "We're your parents. You don't hide addresses from your parents." "I do," I said, "when they treat my finances like a group project." Mom gasped. Dad growled something under his breath. Then, "Open this door," he said. Now. I felt a calm settle over me. A kind I'd never felt with them. "No," I said. "You cannot talk to us like this. You cannot talk through my door," I countered. And then, for the first time in my life, I did something my therapist would later call a breakthrough. I sat on my couch. While they knocked and knocked and knocked. They tried guilt. They tried anger. They tried silence. They tried manipulation. I just let it all happen. Without responding. After 10 minutes, I heard footsteps. Then Dad. "Fine. You want space? You've got it." More footsteps. Then the elevator dinged. Then nothing. My apartment felt impossibly quiet. Not lonely. Quiet. An hour later, Aunt Denise called. "You okay?" she asked. "Yep. They're at home now," she said. "Your mother is performing grief. Your father is performing betrayal. Your sister is performing martyrdom." I laughed. Hard. "You're welcome at my house any time," she added. "No judgment. No bills. No cruises." And then, "I'm proud of you. They needed the boundary. You needed it more." I leaned back, staring at the ceiling. I didn't feel guilty. I didn't feel scared. I felt new. Like a part of me had finally stopped apologizing for existing. A text pinged. But not from family. From HR. Your updated address and banking information have been processed. Congratulations on your bonus. I exhaled a long, steady breath. My money. My mail. My apartment. My life. For the first time in 20 years. Nothing they did could touch me. The bonus hit my account on a Wednesday morning. I was in the gym office reviewing attendance sheets when the notification buzzed across my screen. Deposit, $45,000. 00. No fanfare. No confetti. Just numbers quietly rearranging themselves into proof that I had finally stepped out of the role my family had written for me. I sat back in my chair. For the first time in months, the tension in my shoulders loosened. Then I did something that would have made my parents faint. I didn't tell anyone. Not a soul. I closed my laptop, grabbed my gloves, and walked back onto the training floor. The kids' team was warming up, thudding jump ropes against the mats. Sweat, chatter, energy, the life I'd built outside of my family's gravitational pull. After class, one of my teens, Luis, hung back. You okay, coach? He asked. Yeah, I said, surprised I meant it. You seem lighter, he said. Like you finally slept. I smirked. Something like that. He shrugged and went back to wrapping his bag. It was such a normal moment. A simple one. But it hit me harder than it should have. Because normal peace had felt foreign for a long time. That evening, as I locked up the gym, another text came through. Not from Mom. Not from Jenna. Not from Dad. It was Kyle. Kyle. Can we talk? Just me. No drama. No Jenna. I promise. I debated ignoring it. But Kyle wasn't the problem. He was collateral damage. So I replied. Me. Fine. 20 minutes. Coffee shop near my place. 20 minutes later, he walked in looking like a man about to ask for legal advice he couldn't afford. He sat down. Fidgeted. Thanks for meeting, he said. I didn't know where else to go. I nodded for him to continue. It's bad at home, he said quietly. Ever since the cruise thing. I sipped my coffee. What happened? He rubbed his face. She's angry at everyone. At your parents. At me. Mostly at you. But she won't say why. Just keeps repeating, he ruined everything. I almost laughed. I didn't ruin anything, I said. I just stopped paying for it. He nodded miserably. I know. But Jenna doesn't see it that way. She's been calling you selfish, dramatic, cruel. I keep telling her you're allowed to have boundaries. I raised an eyebrow. You told her that? Yeah, he muttered. She screamed for an hour. That? I believed. He lowered his voice. She even said she wants to take you off the emergency contact forms for the kids. To punish you. I shrugged. I shouldn't have been on them to begin with. He blinked. Damn. You really mean that? Yeah, I said. I do. He hesitated. Do you hate us? I sighed. No. I don't hate anyone. I'm just done being everyone's funding model. Kyle nodded slowly. Then he said something I absolutely did not expect. I think you did the right thing. I stared. What? I've been trying to tell Jenna for years that she relies on you too much. That your parents do too. That it's not normal. But she always shuts me down. He leaned forward. Maybe now she'll have to grow up. I didn't know what to say. Then he added. And for what it's worth, I'm sorry. For standing by while they treated you like the designated provider. It was the first apology I'd gotten from anyone in my family in over a decade. When we finished talking, he stood up. If she ever goes too far, he added, You can call me. I nodded. Then he left. I walked home slowly, hands in my pockets, night breeze cooling the sweat from the gym. For the first time, the path ahead felt open. Not tangled with guilt or obligation. Not burdened by emotional debt. Just open. When I got home, I placed my keys in the bowl, sat on the couch, and stared at the ceiling. I didn't miss the chaos. I didn't miss being needed in all the wrong ways. I didn't miss being the hero in a story that drained me dry. And in the quiet, I realized something incredibly simple. My life was finally mine. Not rented by guilt. Not shared without consent. Not distributed to people who felt entitled to it. Mine. And I wasn't going back. 3 days later, the group chat revived itself from the dead. It started with my mother. Mom. Family meeting Sunday. Everyone is coming. We need to clear the air. I stared at the message. Clear the air. Translation. Let's reset everything back to how it was before you ruined our financial ecosystem. I didn't reply. 10 minutes later. Dad. We expect you here at 4. Don't make this harder. Don't make this harder. Not the mail theft. Not the financial entitlement. Not the vacation they planned with my money. No, my refusal was the problem. Then, because the universe has a sense of humor, Jenna chimed in. Jenna. Everyone is showing up. Grow up and stop hiding. I was at the gym office when those messages rolled in. I read them once, then again, then put the phone face down on the desk. I didn't feel angry. I felt bored. Same script, new week. I had clients until 3 that day. I wiped sweat off my face with a towel, took a long drink of water, and finally picked the phone back up and typed. Me. I won't be there. Please have whatever discussion you want without me. The replies exploded instantly. Mom. Are you serious? This is family. Dad. If you walk away today, that's it. Jenna. Unbelievable. After everything. Everything equals money. Always. I took a breath and typed. Me. This isn't a negotiation. My boundaries are not a group project. And I turned the phone off. When Sunday rolled around, I spent the afternoon exactly how I wanted, cleaning my apartment, drinking iced coffee, reorganizing hand wrap inventory in my gym bag. At 4:17 p.m., my Apple Watch buzzed, someone calling. Dad. I declined. 4:18 Mom. Declined. 4:19 Jenna. Declined. Then it stopped. I pictured them sitting around that dining table I'd grown up at, all 3 of them talking about me, not to me. Trying to reach consensus on how wrong I was. Trying to paint boundaries as betrayal. Trying to rewrite the story into something more comfortable for them. Let them. A few hours later, as the sun started sinking, I turned my phone back on. 3 new messages. All very different. The first was from Dad. Dad. If you want to act like a stranger, that's your choice. Good. He got it. The next was from Jenna. Jenna. You embarrassed us. You should apologize. I actually snorted at that one. And then, something unexpected. A text from my mom. Mom. I still think you handled things wrong. But we might have, too. I don't know what to do with this version of you yet. The one with walls. But I guess he's here. So, talk when you want? I stared at the message. It wasn't an apology. But it also wasn't manipulation. It was confusion. And fear. And maybe, the smallest hint of respect. I typed. Me. I'm open to talking. But not if it's about money. Not if it's about access. And not if you expect things to go back to the old version of me. That person doesn't live here anymore. 3 dots appeared. Disappeared. Reappeared. Mom. Then we'll start small. I set the phone down. And for the first time in years, it felt like I was the one choosing the pace. Not the one being chased. Not the one being guilted. Not the one being drained. Just the one setting the terms of my own life. In the weeks that followed, something strange happened. Nothing. No sudden reconciliations. No explosions. No one banging on my door demanding access to my life again. Just quiet. And in that quiet, I finally noticed how exhausted I'd been for decades. How many emergencies weren't mine. How much guilt I'd been trained to carry like a backpack I never put down. My parents reached out eventually. Softly this time. Mom sent photos of her garden. Dad sent a video of a stray cat he adopted. Small things. Safe things. The old entitlement, the "we need you should, you owe" never resurfaced. Not once. Because I'd removed the leverage. Money. Access. Information. All the places where I used to disappear. My sister stayed distant, but honestly, that was a gift. One afternoon, months later, I met my parents for lunch at a diner halfway between us. No big talks. No budget crises. Just sandwiches and weather and my dad complaining about the price of chicken. When the bill came, Dad reached for it. I almost fell off my chair. "You don't have to," I said. "I know," he answered. "That's why I'm doing it." It wasn't an apology. But it was acknowledgement. A tiny, ordinary gesture that said, "We understand. The rules have changed." As I walked back to my car, sun warm on my shoulders, I realized something I'd never thought I'd feel. Peace doesn't come from fixing people. It comes from refusing to break yourself for them. And the version of me they used to rely on, the one with no boundaries, no privacy, no voice, was gone. Replaced by someone steadier. Someone calmer. Someone who finally knew. Family isn't defined by access. It's defined by respect. And now, for the first time in my life, I had both.